It's another divorce TV show. In fact, we are, this is the last one for a couple of weeks. I decided not to do it over Christmas and on New Year's Day. So we'll be having a little bit of a break. But I think everyone's going to be pretty busy. So today, this one, we've got an expert. It's a recorded interview. It's not the best quality, but what she says is so important. So if you are a British national, a citizen who perhaps doesn't yet have a British passport or not a leave to remain all kind of already sorted, and especially if you're then getting divorced, please listen to this video. We've got a shared story, another one with Ruth Driscoll, and Susan Calmiller is kindly going to be giving us a lovely meditation to finish with. So let's just have first a quick look at the news. So Fergie and, this is Daily Express, Sarah Ferguson and Princess Diana's telling divorce pact laid bare. So according to the Express, Sarah Ferguson and Princess Diana agreed to set up a divorce pact as part of their unity as outsiders to the royal family, it has been claimed. The Duchess of York, affectionately known as Fergie, and the Princess of Wales' friendship started long before they became members of the royal family. So close was their relationship, it has been suggested the two had a divorce pact. This pact was discussed by the Cowe as the publication examined its intricacies and how it was set up. As it explained, no one knew that at the time Princess Diana and Fergie had planned to announce their divorces at the same time. As they became even more unhappy, they decided it was time to get out. It's claimed that Diana wanted to see how the family and the British public would react to Sarah Ferguson's exit from the royal family. Sarah and Andrew split in 1992, but didn't divorce for another 4 years in 1996. Judy Wade, who's a writer and royal journalist, said Sarah's exit from the royal family was a rehearsal for Princess Diana. At one stage, Sarah and Diana were determined to leave together, but that didn't happen, and obviously Diana saw that Fergie was quickly, according to this, victimised by the palace. As a result, the Cowe said Diana dropped out of the pact. At the time of Fergie and Andrew's divorce, Diana's own marriage had fallen into disrepair. What a lovely way to describe it. They both would divorce their husbands in 1996, thus in a roundabout way the divorce pact held up, according to this. Later, Diana sadly died in a car accident in Paris in 1997. In the year before this, she and Sarah had fallen out, with Town and Country magazines suggesting it was because of the way Fergie wrote about Diana in her 1996 autobiography. The pair never reconciled, and following Diana's funeral, Sarah told Harper's Bazaar, "We were like siblings, we rowed, and the saddest thing at the end, we hadn't spoken for a year." So, have any of you ever had a divorce pact? If that's something that you've done, please do share it in the comments. And if there's anyone you haven't spoken to for over a year because you're a bit cross with them, please, after the show, just give them a text, say hello. The Guardian. This is on about Mackenzie Scott, ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, gives away $4 billion in 4 months. What fun. The 50-year-old, who was married to the Amazon boss for 26 years, donates to COVID groups. Mackenzie Scott, the ex-wife of the Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, has donated more than $4 billion in the past 4 months to hundreds of charities and aid organisations, including food banks fighting the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Scott, who has a personal net worth of more than $60 billion, that's £44.5 billion, pledged to give away much of her wealth after her divorce settlement with Bezos last year, and she's certainly sticking to it. The 50-year-old said she had decided to accelerate her donations this year, and in the past 4 months has given a further $4.15 billion to 384 organisations across the US and Puerto Rico, taking her total donations this year to $6 billion. This pandemic has been a wrecking ball in the lives of Americans already struggling, she wrote in a blog post entitled 384 Ways to Help. Economic losses and health outcomes alike have been worse for women, for people of colour and for people living in poverty. Meanwhile, it has substantially increased the wealth of the billionaires. Scott published the list of organisations to receive funds, which includes the YMCA, Meals on Wheels, the Global Fund for Women, and the civil rights organisation, the National Association for the Advancement of Coloured People. Scott's $60 billion net worth makes her the 18th richest person in the world. This year, Bezos has committed to $10 billion to issues related to climate change. In November, he announced the first of those grants, handing out almost $800 million to 16 groups. What a wonderful way to spend your divorce settlement. And finally, Hello Magazine is talking about Philip Schofield, who's still not really discussing his divorce with wife Stephanie, which everyone in the media seems to have a real problem with for some reason. Philip Schofield bravely came out as gay, they say, in February after letting his sexuality consume him for the last few years. And despite his sexuality, according to this Hello Magazine, the This Morning host has insisted that he has no plans to divorce his wife of 27 years, Stephanie Lowe. Speaking on Chris Evans' podcast How to Wow in October, Philip admitted that their marriage is a work in progress. When asked by Chris how long he will continue to wear his wedding ring, Philip continued, "That's a very good question, Chris. I don't know, because I am still married to Steph. It's not in my nature to hurt people, and so I have to reconcile myself with the fact that I have done that. Indeed, I have done that, and I tried very hard not to. I also say it is possible to come out and not hurt. I also say, is it possible to come out and not hurt your wife? No, of course it isn't. My greatest concern is that she is okay." Oh, so lovely. The presenter married Stephanie in March 1993, and they are proud parents to daughters Molly, 27, and Ruby, 24. Speaking to co-star Holly Willoughby earlier this year about his wife, Philip said, "Steph has been incredible. I love her so very much. She's the kindest soul I have ever met. My girls have been astonishing in their love, hugs, and encouraging words of comfort. Both mine and Steph's entire families have stunned me with their love, instant acceptance and support. Of course, they are worried about Steph, but I know they will scoop us both up." I do pray that if they do decide to divorce, that they continue in that manner, because it's truly wonderful. And I'd be interested to know. Please put it in the comments if you're in if you're getting divorced because your partner's come out, and whether that is necessarily inevitable. I don't know. Every couple's different, so I think it's very interesting what's going on there. But however, as long as they can continue to manage it that way, it can't end up being a bad thing. We are now ready for our expert interview, which is Rosalind Nunoo. She is an immigration lawyer. It's not a very good quality interview. I sort of grabbed it while she was I think it was on her phone actually, but you should be able to hear it okay. But what she says is really, really important. And
when it comes to divorce or separation between the parents. If you are currently in the UK and you're not a British national, you live in the UK, you work in the UK, you've got children in the UK, or you've got a partner in the UK, I think it's very important. I can't stress the importance enough that you speak to someone like myself to know that you have done the right things to be able to secure your leave to remain in the UK. Because the worst case scenario would be that you would have to find yourself within 24 hours having to leave the UK, and the Home Office would want to remove you from the UK if you do not have the right leave to remain in the UK, and they would also seek to remove your children from the UK if you can't show that they have the right to remain in the UK permanently or they have British citizenship. Which means that as part of the divorce, the issue of their status in the UK, how they would be able to continue living in the UK after the divorce, becomes a very crucial part of the process. There are times where the parties would have to mediate on that on a separate level, just to make sure that the parent, being it the father or the mother, would be able to remain in the UK even after the divorce. I have had scenarios where the husband was not willing to support her application, although they've lived together all these years. She was under the impression that because the husband is British, because the children are British, and she's always lived here, had the children in the UK, that she was British, which isn't the case. At the end of it, what we had to do for her would be to start the process of applying for a visa for her as if she just came into the UK. She thought she could just apply for a British passport, but no, she can't do that. If you're in the UK and you're in a relationship or married to a British citizen, you've got children who are British citizens, that does not automatically guarantee you remaining in the UK permanently. And it doesn't also allow you to apply for a British passport just on the basis that your partner or your husband or your children are British citizenship. If you're thinking of applying for naturalization following your permanent residence and you're not quite sure how to do it, the information out there can be a bit confusing. If you're not sure how to do it, then definitely get in touch with me. I deal predominantly in immigration matters. I've been doing that for over 10 years. So I just love the fact that I'm able to help people. I love the fact that I don't just help individuals, but I also help their families as they go along on their journey in the UK. So, in conclusion, my advice would be if you are in the UK, you need to have one or two things. First, that you have pre-settled status that secures your leave to remain in the UK for the next 5 years after Brexit, or you apply for permanent residence to remain in the UK. Once you apply for permanent residence, then you are on the road to applying for naturalization, which will then lead to you applying for a British passport. If you have permanent residence and you do not wish to apply for British citizenship, it means that although you can remain in the UK indefinitely, you are limited as to how long you can remain outside of the UK, which would be you cannot live in the outside of the UK for 2 years or more, because you then lose that indefinitely to remain or permanent residence. If you have children in the UK, and they're entitled to British nationality, it's best for you to advise you apply for that now, so they've got it even if you want to take them out of the UK for a period of time. This will then give them the opportunity to come back to the UK when they are 18 or when they want to come and study in the UK.
Very, very important. And of course, with the deadline, which there is a deadline, effectively end of December, for anyone who should be talking to Rosalind. Rosalind is going to be part of the Divorce Financial Workshop, which is on the 21st of January. Obviously, don't wait till then. So if you get a ticket for the show, there'll be a QR code coming up later, or just download the app, Best Way to Divorce app. You can find it on there. You must, for goodness sakes, have a chat with me and say, can I talk to her sooner? So don't wait. Because it's really important, and I fear a lot of people are going to get caught out by this. So spread the word. Anyone you know who should be just checking. And if you get a ticket for the the Divorce Financial Workshop, and if you're a member of the Secret Divorce Group, you can easily contact me and ask. I can arrange for you to have a chat with Rosalind in advance. You don't have to wait till the actual workshop. A very brief workshop here, Healers and Wellbeing. I think this is the last one under the Set Sail section. This is the Divorce Masterclass, which has got loads and loads of content. I mean, we're still going through it now, and I started this months ago. But we're on the last of this section, which is the Set Sail, and we're under the intelligence part. Being intelligent is basically getting the information and knowing who to talk to. And Healers and Wellbeing, this is so crucial. So all forms of well-being, whether holistic healing or lifestyle changes, are not an indulgence. They can be a powerful way to support any coaching or counselling that you may be partaking in, and more effective than drugs and alcohol for keeping depression at bay, assuming you don't have a clinical history of mental illness, obviously. Feeling good is everyone's right, and there are many different experts who can help you create greater emotional and physical harmony in your life and that of your family. For example, Debbie Talalay, who has developed the Stanford technique, which incorporates theta healing, and Susan Cal-Miller with her EFT and other modalities, who is sharing a healing with us at the end of the show. Both are part of the Best Way to Divorce team, and they both support a peaceful divorce by helping you become at peace with yourself. Moving now to a shared story from Ruth. And Ruth is going to be sharing a story with us, and Ruth's used from working with people where it's not peaceful at all. They've often got very, very difficult co-parents often that they're having to deal with, and so I'm looking forward to hearing what she's going to share with us today. Hello, Ruth. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Susie. Thank you very much.
And what story are you going to share with us today?
Well, today I'm going to talk about a story that I think has a particular relevance for the time of year that's coming up, and also for the year that we have just been through, which is about, if you are still having to share the family home with your ex or soon to be ex, and particularly if you have children as well. It's considering the impact that you two being together in that home might have. Now, as you said, Susie, the people that I particularly deal with are those situations where things have become very difficult, they've become very challenging. It could be that the ex or the person that you are divorcing is quite a toxic individual, maybe controlling, maybe manipulative. And so it's very, very difficult in those kind of circumstances to keep that sense of harmony in the home. And with the year that we've had, with all of the lockdowns, that has really put an extra strain on that situation. And so what's required to be able to deal with this is a real sort of build up in your resilience. And that kind of links, Susie, with what you were saying there with the, the healing and well-being being such an important part of ensuring that you're okay and that you're at your strongest to be able to face this situation. Now, the person that I was working with was very concerned about the impact on her children, especially where she found that her partner was really sort of pushing emotional triggers, and she was finding it very difficult to then keep a calm atmosphere in the home. Sometimes you come home from work and you're tired, and you can see the inconsideration of your partner in evidence around you. And it's very easy then to kind of lose your rag. And then you're reacting in a way that you feel is having a damaging impact on your children. And obviously that's something that it's, any parent is going to want to make sure that that's not what's happening with their child. So we talked about a range of ways in which she could maintain her emotional state, maintain real control over her emotional state. And obviously the swiftest way to do that is through changing your breathing pattern. We have talked about that, I think, on other case studies. But breathing deeply into your diaphragm so that you're putting your physical state into the state of calmness, as opposed to that state of anger and frustration where you'll find that your breathing is high on your chest. But of course, that takes you so far. But when you're under that sort of real major strain, something else is needed as well for you to be able to just quickly get into that state. And so what we talked about was developing a persona that when you felt, you were being triggered, your partner was being unreasonable, even aggressive or abusive, and really sort of, you know, pushing every button to try and get a row going. So the suggestion that I put to her was to imagine you're taking on this persona and putting yourself in the energy of a very efficient secretary. So, you know, you are then managing it as if you are managing a really rather awkward boss, but, you know, you've got to maintain your calm throughout this entire situation. So then you're like stepping a step away emotionally from the situation, because now you're taking on this character, this person. You can, you know, give the character a name if you like. But a little thing like that can just help you to then keep control of your energy state, so that you're then able to respond rather than react. And you're able to keep a sense of calm about what's going on around you. And that's important, not just for the sake of your well-being and your resilience as you deal with this, but also that you're demonstrating to your children that even though the provocation that's being poured on you might be, you know, quite huge, that you're able to stay calm, you're able to respond reasonably, you're able to respond in a way that helps drive towards a solution, or at least stops the whole situation from escalating. And of course, you know, as any parent knows, that the best thing is that if your children see you modeling the kind of behavior that you would like them to be able to take on board and use themselves as they mature into the future. So just a little strategy to help with resilience, especially if, you know, with Christmas coming up, that you're going to be spending that time with your partner in the same environment as you. Really important that you have some strategies to be able to maintain your strength, your resilience, and your calm. And so just to finish this, I want to give a little quotation that I hope might help as well. One of the, you know, you have these mentors and gurus and people that you just think absolutely amazing. And one for me is the guy that wrote this book, Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. Viktor Frankl, he was an Austrian Jew, a professor and a psychiatrist, and he was sent to the concentration camps during World War II. And so great messages of the kind of the ways in which you can build resilience when you're going through the most horrendous of circumstances. But this little quote that I'd like to give you, which I think is really, really powerful, it's not actually in that book, but it's in others of his writing. And this is what he says. He says, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In that response lies our growth and our freedom. So think of that when you're feeling your emotional triggers being pushed, as before you just take on that persona of the very efficient secretary dealing calmly with everything. Remember, you do have a split second in which you can actually make a choice about how you respond. And don't beat yourself up if it goes wrong. You know, just learn from it. That's
really important, isn't it? It's that you have to accept that it can take a while to get used to these ways of doing things. So that's fabulous. Yeah. I think you should make that into a fridge magnet.
I agree.
Wouldn't it be amazing?
Yes, stick it on the computer, on the fridge.
And I should just before you go, how did your the client you were working with, what was their experience? Did they find it took a little bit of practice? What was their experience of putting it into action? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Well, she was able to put the strategies into action straight away and found that it made a big difference to how she felt, to how her partner then responded to her. But of course, you know, there are those days when you're extra tired or you've been extra busy. And that's when, things can tip over and you find all the strategies in the world suddenly seem to have left you. And that's why it's important that you realize, yes, you may have taken a little step back, but mostly you're going to be moving forward. And that's what she was doing. She was moving forward and just, reminding yourself, I do have the strategies, I can put this right. And that's where I think the little Viktor Frankl quotation comes in. You do have that. It's so powerful to know you choose. It's not the other person making that choice for you. They're pushing the buttons, trying to make you make a particular choice, but you don't do that. You choose a response that's going to keep the energy where you need it to be.
And if it doesn't work as well, the fact that you've noticed, the fact that you know you have that power and that this time it didn't work as planned, you've still made a huge leap forward, because for most of us, we don't even know that there is that gap. We just react and blame, and we don't take any of our power back. So yeah, that's a beautiful quote. I look forward to you tagging me in on Instagram to that one, because that would be a great Instagram post. It's just beautiful. Thanks so much for sharing it with us, Ruth, and see you again soon. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Susie. Bye everyone.
And a little bit of a roundup before we have our meditation. We're going to slightly longer than before usual. I just want to focus really on the Divorce Financial Workshop, where Ruth is going to be part of that, and also Rosalind and Nunoo, who was in the recorded interview at the front. In fact, there's a whole amazing, the usual amazing divorce squad. So make sure that if you are at any stage of divorce, there's obviously only limited tickets because it is an interactive workshop, and the next one won't be for quite a few months afterwards. So I would grab them now. And as I said earlier, if you really need to talk to Ruth or a lawyer or anybody beforehand, you can't wait till the 21st of January, because you've got the ticket, I will be able to facilitate an introduction, and you can have some level of complimentary initial conversation or session, depending on what that professional is able to offer. But they've all been really, really generous. So I just want to remind everyone about the workshop. I've got the little promo here, so sit back and enjoy, and then I'll do the intro to the healing. The Divorce Financial Workshop that we've created is interactive.
Think the online divorce workshops are a fantastic way of getting in touch with experts.
It's not as overwhelming as they think.
Relaxing, friendly.
Of course, with the collaborative law process, matters are more amicable, and the more amicable things are, the cheaper it is.
Actually, the funny thing is that I didn't actually initially want to go into this area of law.
Professionals that you may need to assist you in the future, be it divorce lawyers, counsellors, therapists.
I fell into it, and now I actually love it, because my personality is like that. I like helping people, and I feel like I am giving something back, which is important to me.
You're going to get key information that you need sitting at home through the computer.
The biggest mistakes that I've come across, burying their head, not dealing with things.
Family dynamics, if there's a second relationship.
Using children as a tool against the other.
Putting assets into trust for the benefit of children.
Thinking it's going to be cheap and quick.
Guardianship for children. Inheritance tax. That's quite a big one.
It also provides you with access to other professionals that you may not feel you need to be speaking with at the present time, but you may need to in the future.
The problem in most cases is that people are just not well informed, and keeping people informed is extremely important, because they also then are aware of their options.
I've been collaboratively trained for around 13 years now, and I've conducted a number of collaborative matters. I haven't had any that have failed. Collaborative law can be a much cheaper and time-efficient solution. It gives you the opportunity to reach an agreement rather than one being imposed on you by the court. It's a really fantastic process to engage with. I just feel it's important that families, couples recognise that you can deal with matters amicably.
On the Divorce Financial Workshop, we have some brilliant specialists there focused on dispute resolution, keeping you out of court, saving you thousands and thousands of pounds, and taking the fear of the finances out of the divorce process. And we're recording it and putting it in a special safe place for those of you who perhaps get interrupted by the children or life, and we want to make sure that you get the full value out of this workshop. I look forward to welcoming you at our Divorce Financial Workshop. And there's a nice QR code there. Actually, this one would take you to the app, and from the app, that's actually the best place to get your ticket for the workshop, because it's immediate. Once you buy the ticket, the system magically knows, and then you'll be able to access lots of videos from the different professionals. There's a whole welcome pack specifically for the workshop, so dive on in there if you are in any stage of divorce. This one is for people in the UK, I should say. I'd love to do some in the US, but this one is specific to anyone who is getting divorced in the UK. Now we can get ready, get comfortable for our healing session, and that's going to be with Susan. And just unmute there, Susan. Hopefully we can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you, Susie.
Excellent. And what are you going to be treating us to tonight, or today, depending on when someone's watching it?
A very gentle meditation to soothe the soul.
Excellent. I'm going to move us into the next slide so we have some gentle music behind us.
I decided to do a gentle meditation this evening, and coincidentally it partners up with part of Ruth's message. Life is often very hectic, no time to just be. And at Christmas so much is going on, so much is expected. Stressors are abundant, and very difficult times indeed this year, in more ways than one. So take these few minutes and allow yourself this gentle opportunity. Please sit comfortably. Take the moment to just be. Relax your shoulders, and if you wish, close your eyes. Focus on your breath. Gently breathe in and out. Pause and wait. Gently breathe in, then out. Pausing and waiting. Gently waiting for your next breath to come in. Breathe in and out. Bring your attention to the pause, observing and appreciating and trusting your breath, trusting your life, trusting your existence. And now, bringing your awareness again into the breathing in and out, the pause. Begin to imagine a beautiful beach on a warm, sunny day. Make this beach look exactly the way you want it to look. Now, see yourself on the soft, warm sand. Feel the sand under your bare feet. And you're watching the waves gently lapping on the shore. Bring your attention to your breathing. Breathing in, breathing out, pausing, waiting for the breath to come in. You're on this beautiful beach with your feet in the sand, and you're watching the waves. lapping on the shore. Watch the waves as they gently come ashore, and then they gently return to the sea. Begin to breathe in as you watch the waves come in, and breathe out as the waves move back. Then pause and wait. Wait for the next wave and the next breath to come. It will always come. Now, have your breath slow down, becoming even more calm. If your thoughts wander, bring your attention back to your breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. Pausing, waiting for the breath to come in, trusting that it will always come. And when you feel ready, gradually begin to let go of the energy of the beach and the waves, and believe that you deserve these moments of calm. Believe that you are truly worthy of these moments of calm. Believe that you are a gentle and deserving soul. Now, bring your attention back into the present moment. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Appreciate your existence. Life is here, waiting and willing you on. Thank you for listening and taking part. Thank you, Susie.
So, everybody, in a nice, calm, peaceful way, in the war of divorce, on the battlefield of family separation, always make peace your weapon of choice.